Hey everyone, today I will review Nikon D810. Finally, first full-frame DSLR on my channel. Before getting into the concretes, I will be very grateful if you subscribe and rate this video. This helps me a lot to grow and make more and more camera reviews and comparisons. Camera was announced back in 2014 as professional-grade DSLR. After announcement of its successor, D8500, used D8100 price dropped to the point that it often seems like quite a bargain. In the end, I will try to answer, is it still worth to buy now? Body made from magnesium alloy gives impression of quality and feel of confidence that professionals need. Additionally, whole construction is weather sealed and to make it usable in pretty much every condition. However, it got one quirk: peeling rubber parts caused by adhesive losing its properties. My unit has some years and probably history of extensive use, but from what I've seen on the web, it's fairly common issue on those cameras. You wouldn't expect that kind of problems from camera in this class. But in the end, it's not disaster. It could be easily fixed and doesn't interfere with functionality. Aside from that, camera feels nice and solid, although you can feel its weight of almost 1 kg. Shutter mechanism is very quiet and sounds premium. Movement of every dial, feel of button and ergonomics are great. Although using this camera was quite a surprise in the beginning because everything is so different at first glance. You can forget about auto mode and searching whole menu to change image quality, white balance, ISO, shooting mode and etc. This camera is designed to use by clever button layout and shortcuts in combination with that little display on the top in order to quickly switch settings. After a while, this type of operating started to grow on me, especially when we consider target of this camera that consists of professionals. They often need to change and switch various options in order to do their work, and this definitely helps to save a lot of time. It should be also fairly easy to learn even for not so professional users. Other than that, user interface is pretty much the same like in every other Nikon camera, simple and intuitive. What's worth mentioning is that there is special OK button to confirm things. I guess purpose of this is to avoid an accidental memory card format, for example. 3.2-inch LCD on the back provides good color accuracy and decent sharpness, making it more than enough to preview photos. It unfortunately lacks articulation and touchscreen that was introduced later in D8500, but it's not that necessary for taking photos, to be honest. Nowadays, electronic viewfinders are getting better and better, but still they can't provide same real view found only in DSLRs. I think it's quite an advantage in comparison with mirrorless, especially when it comes to full-frame DSLR like this D8100, where viewfinder is much bigger than in APS-C sensor camera. Despite having 0.7 times magnification, it provides crazy huge vision and it won't make your eyes tired like an electronic viewfinder often can. 51 autofocus points may seem not that much by today's standards when we look at the 8500 with 153 focus points, but in most conditions it's absolutely sufficient. More important is that autofocus is reliable, very fast and precise. Unfortunately, that cannot be said about focusing in live view mode, but it's pretty much standard in Nikon DSLRs. I wish Nikon would make step forward upgrading to contrast and phase detect autofocus in live view to finally match their competition in this field. 36 megapixel full-frame CMOS sensor paired with EXPEED 4 image processor delivers truly astonishing results. I can't stress enough how good this camera is. It's absolutely the best image quality that I've seen so far from any camera. Color reproduction is so realistic and true. Automatic white balance works great. Camera has ability to capture tremendous amount of information. You will notice slightest nuances and details in texture of photographed objects. In magnification, you can see immersive view of true depth. This camera has amazing ability to capture not only sharpness, definition and details, but also a lot of color information. Like I said, slightest nuances are being captured. Dynamic range is phenomenal. Landscapes are beautiful. Sky isn't blown out. Images are accurately exposed. Additionally, you have special highlight weighted exposure metering mode to protect image from being blown out. Basic native ISO of 64 helps even more to maintain that great dynamic range. Hard to imagine what the D810 with 48 megapixel sensor could do if the results from this D810 are so amazing. I know you're supposed to be shooting RAW all the time with this type of camera, but I have to tell you, JPEG processing is really something worth mentioning in this D810. JPEG files weigh so much, they can have up to 30 megabytes and they indeed look very good. Plenty of details. Performance in low light is very surprising considering how much megapixel this sensor has. Like you would expect from full frame, results are excellent especially on lower ISO settings like 400, 800, hardly any noise. Up to ISO 3200 camera shows its huge potential. Photos come with very little amount of noise and ton of information. Cranking up ISO higher will of course cause noticeably more noise, but still, in ISO 6400 it beats my APS-C DSLR that is considered to be a good low-light performer. In opposite to its successor, the D810 doesn't have 4K video recording capability. Instead, it has 1080p up to 60 frames per second. To be honest, I wouldn't really recommend this camera for video quality, because nowadays, for the same price or even less, you could have Nikon D7500 or Sony A6300, and both of them have 4K, which will provide level of detail and sharpness that you can forget with this camera. However, that doesn't mean the D810 is bad for video. For 1080p, videos are still pretty good, like you would expect from Nikon camera. If you have D3400, D5600 and etc., you will be very familiar with its quality. Plus, you will have a little bit better low-light performance and more shallow depth of field, thanks to bigger sensor. All of this certainly can make movies look very cinematic. To sum up, Nikon D810 is really great performer. If you are looking for superb full-frame photo quality, you can't go wrong with the D810. Image quality is absolutely up to date. Only few best cameras even now can match its performance. Autofocus is great, build quality is solid, button layout and operating is meant for professional use. This camera is great choice for professional photographers for sure. Where flow of time is more visible is in video quality. I can't recommend it as the best choice for video recording, keeping in mind its price. It's good addition, but you can find better video quality cameras for less money. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to rate this video and see my other videos. See you later.